Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Kaiserreich. Today we are going to be playing as the Princely Federation. We're going to attempt to reunite India and then do more, question mark. Either way, if you have not, you should subscribe to the channel. If you like mostly Hearts of Iron, but also some other Let's Plays. I mostly do Kaiserreich and Kaiser Redux, but, I did XCOM, I recently did Age of Empires, I did some Dune Awakening. Yeah, I'll play whatever. I'll mostly play Kaiserreich or Kaiser Redux, Hearts of Iron. Like the video if you like it, and, I guess hit the bell thing that you need to hit now. I guess. Is that still a thing? I don't really care. All right. Either way, we're going to be playing Princely Federation. Let's look at our options. Starting out with, we can build a road. No, I'm good. We can, what? Oh, get river crossings. Very, very swaggy. We can create our own faction. That's very cool. We can also join a bunch of different factions. Also very cool. We can get air stuff. I don't care about that. Though this controlling the river seems nice. Getting river boats seems pretty valuable. These options. Military factory. How many of those do we have? We have no military industrial organization. It looks like we have 7 military factories. That would bring us to 8. The thing I think I want is, yeah, Army XP is good. Maybe we go for, let's get a military factory as soon as we can. Actually, let's think about this. We'll probably want to get Barrow Road, but let's get a military factory as soon as we can. Shove everything into a single division, or maybe not. Shove everything into 2 divisions. Put everything under the command of this guy. I don't necessarily, this is a blind playthrough, by the way, so I'm not necessarily coming into this with a plan. I'm not a man with a plan. A canal, Panama. And then we'll learn shift, click. There we go. How are we doing on trains? We have 21. You get 15 in return for some stability, which is probably not worth it at this point. Probably not worth it at this point. We can get civilian factories. I should probably build more civilian factories. Let's build them in Bombay. Where did the Berar Road give me? In Berar. That would... Alright, well, I kind of walked into that one. Where's the Berar Road? Well, the Berar Road is in Berar. There it is. This is Berar. Okay, it doesn't have... It's got terrible infrastructure. Okay. Probably want... support equipment. We don't have a template that uses either of those. Reinforcements high priority, and upgrades low priority. Everything else high priority. Infantry divisions, mountaineers. We'll put some mountaineers in the training queue. It's generally good to have those. Oh boy, we're gonna try to play optimally as much as we can. Do I even want to bother with these? I guess I'll bother with these. Sure, why not? Apparently we can change an advisor. What? Balance of power! Ho. Interesting. Ow. Ugh. Weekly stability. That's not good. Do these all have... Oh. We want things to go towards the center. If possible, I think. I mean, more political power is nice. More factory output is nice, but a loss of stability is not so nice, even if it's slow. We're going to wait to act on these. So the question is what direction we're going. I have no idea how any of that works. We can get Reign of the Princes. Greatness belongs to the Osman. Kaiser I Hind or Father of the Federation. We can, yeah, Reign of the Princesses, Reign of the Princes. We have Ear's national government. Spirit of Anthria on Antrond Yamam and reconstructing the nation. Yikes. Okay. Research is bad. I believe we have... Okay, we've got disorder in council. We have widespread rural poverty. And the Bombay Pact. Technically, we're allies with... We are allies with the Dominion India, but basically, as soon as we get rid of the Bharatiya People's Republic, that will stop being the case. They basically formalized the 2-on-1 civil war that is traditional. Here. Do we want to spend anything on steel? No. No. Taking a 50% penalty there is actually not the end of the world. How much penalty were we taking to making this? 1. Yeah, so these two are just there to have a little bit in the tank. So we can unpause. Look at us go. Should probably put a guy in command here. It's literally 3 destroyers. But 3 destroyers isn't nothing. Where are you going? Where? Why are you here? An uneasy anniversary. With its winter recess nearing its conclusion, and the Federation now entering its 10th year, the All India Federation, also called the Princely Federation, the members of the Great Council of Princes have departed once again for Hyderabad for the upcoming session. While these sessions have never exactly been the most cordial, especially in recent years, rumors have begun swirling about what might happen this time around, owing to the growing resentment between the Nizam, the council's leader, and its other 4 members. While these princes, who have colloquially been known as the Big Four, do not agree upon every issue, they become almost a homogeneous unit in their opposition to Osman's authoritarianism. The heart of their issues with him begins with the special status Osman was granted as part of the Federation's founding constitution, through which he was given the ability to exercise special powers, originally intended to be reserved only for emergency situations. Every year since the Federation's founding, however, has seen the Nizam's use of these powers grow more and more frequent, with even some of the most mundane proposals being vetoed under them for seeming the pettiest reasons. As one of the last actions before winter recess, the Nizam voted a proposal that had received the backing of all 4 of the other princes to fund an expansion of the University of Bombay, seemingly entirely on the grounds of a minor squabble with one of the faculty, leading to an angry argument erupting. With gossip about this argument quickly spreading to the general public, and whispers of secret meetings between the Big Four and its aftermath, it is no surprise the people are expecting something significant to occur in the coming days. Hard to say if the Federation will survive another decade if this keeps up. Rip Victor Chernov. Totalist Charter. 88 King. How are we doing on weapon demand? It's critically high. Convening of the council with the winter recess now concluded, and the council's members having safely arrived at Hyderabad. The first few days of the session so far have been surprisingly calm, despite the thick tension in the air. While issues have been discussed over these 2 days have hardly been controversial, The Nizam has yet to take the opportunity to veto any of them. Now, discussions have generally been progressing at a steady pace. Throughout Hyderabad, it seems many have begun to discount the rumors of the previous weeks, but perhaps it's too early to tell. Off to a decent enough start, I suppose. Cool. National Diwan proposal. In a rather unsurprising turn of events, things within the council have not remained harmonious for long, and at last, a major new dispute has arisen between the Big Four and the Nizam. Almost immediately after the Nizam chose to veto a proposal regarding railway expansion in Calicut on grounds of the price, a new proposal was suddenly presented. It seems that during the recess time, it was taken to draft up a plan. Spearheaded by the Maharaja Chitira Thirunal of Travancore, to resolve the issue of the Nizam's overuse of reserve powers. Under this proposal, many of the Osman's present powers find themselves transferred to a national diwan, which should be chosen among the council's members via election by the Chamber of Princes, an institution inherited from the former British administration, in which minor princes of the Federation make up the membership. What followed was perhaps an even less surprising turn of events, with the Nizam immediately interpreting the proposal as a direct attack upon his character, leading to not only him immediately vetoing the proposal, but the further step of using his powers to temporarily prorogue the council for the remainder of the session. Not giving time for an argument to break out, Osman immediately vacated the building. According to the current round of rumors, Osman's prorogation has left the Big Four even more outraged, and even Paramasman Subarayan, observer from Madras, is said to have privately expressed his support for the members. Despite disagreeing with much of their proposal, whatever happens next, it's clear that this crisis is only the beginning. The council will not make another year without some kind of radical change. So having another year, let alone another decade, is starting to seem generous at this point. Alright. It is Black Monday and the 5th Anglo-Afghan War. Who cares about Afghanistan? Well, I suppose we do. Let's send over the lads. Specifically, these lads. We'll leave our reservists behind. And their no guns. Boy. Alright. So we are currently sitting at disputed dominance, which is probably good. I wonder what happens if we keep things near the center. Might be interesting. We're getting pretty close to phasing out British equipment. I think what we are going to do is we are going to buy. From who? Sweden, I suppose. Is it worth spending on that? Who knows? We should accelerate. Yeah, I'm not terribly expecting this to... There we go, phase out British equipment. Next up is... I suppose we want to probably start... We want streamlining the command structure. That Army XP is good. We want to get Army XP basically as soon as we can, though. I think the first guy we probably want is Mr. Ismail, because he provides a lot of bonuses. Specifically, he provides political power. In the short term, we want advisors that give political power. Orthodox syndicalist elected in France. Oh, never mind, sober already. Amazing. Back to your starting locations, then. Austrian Empire withdraws from Italy. Predictably, that ended the exact way it always does. There we go. Oh, shocks of Black Monday hit the Federation. Despite chaos sweeping across the globe as a result of German crash, many within the Federation were still confident in the belief it would not reach as far as India, with these people potentially being willfully ignorant in the hopes of a new crisis, arriving just days after the last. Unfortunately for the nation, these have been for naught, and the Federation has too succumbed to these aftershocks, owing greatly to German economic interest in both India and their wider Asian sphere. However, in what many are considering a silver lining, it seems that the crisis in the council may have been put on the back bench, as Nizam has made the extraordinary move of reversing his prorogation to the council in an attempt to weather the storm. While the Big Four have clearly not discarded their hatred for Osman in the span of a few days, they have at least agreed to put their differences aside, and have begun to return to Hyderabad for the reconvening of the session. Nothing like a good crisis to bring people together. We are going to cancel this and focus on the Shraf development plan. And then we're just going to keep going down this route as much as we can. There we go. All these things will reduce the aftershocks of Black Monday effect. It'll be removed soonish. Yeah. So Princely Federation, perhaps unsurprisingly, is not as affected by the aftermath of Black Monday. Here I am going to train up my forces. Illusion of Qing hegemony shatters, the end of an era. As you do. I like some of the new changes that have been made. Alright, we're not going to get involved in that. We really can't afford to. Cao and Wu back on Jing. Alright, we probably want a trait. I would like a logistics wizard. And then I think next we'll probably want to go for thorough planner, actually. I've heard, apparently, planning is very good. Okay. Bombay Mills strike. While everyone has been hit hard by the impacts of Black Monday, few have been hit harder than the poor mill workers in the nation's industrial heart of Bombay. As an expression of their anger at the system, workers in multiple bills in the Garangan took part in a walkout, which would soon escalate upon many of those strikers being arrested, following an appeal to police by the owners of the mills. Soon after, thousands would take to the streets of Bombay in protest, with fights breaking out between the police and protesters, resulting in multiple injuries and significant damage to local property. In the aftermath, even more protesters were arrested, most notably, Balanchandra Trumbak Randiv, a known socialist agitator almost certainly backed by Calcutta. Although this unrest has seemingly been put down by now, there are fears that any small spark in the room of Bombay could easily result in a renewed wave of violence. With the arrest of Ranadiv, however, an opportunity has emerged to quell the workers somewhat. By placing the blame upon Calcutta spies and pardoning those who were simply misled by them, things may begin to cool back down and earn the government much needed favor. Vandals have been lucky to only be arrested, or, pardon the strikers, only Calcutta's spies shall face punishment. Losing stability is rough, but these Vandals are lucky to only have been arrested. That's what I'll go with. Okay, we have options. Military High Command. Ugh. We need a Chief of Army. We're going for planning. Evidently, the bonuses from planning are quite strong. Because we want to start gaining that Army XP. I think for our nation, planning is in particular very useful because we otherwise have very little ability to actually project offensive power. Democratic coalition. Restoration of democracy. Arthur Horner elected chairman of the TUC. Death of Pius the 11th, I think. Gallo seizes control of Ecuador. Say it ain't so. Oh, good. Oh, actually, this might not be bad. Andraja Maasaba sweep Madras. Even with the multiple crises that hit the nation, the autonomous region of Madras has not let that stop them from holding elections, and the results have begun to arrive in the past few days. The results prove that few by now have been shocked. Providing results that few now have been shocked by the Justice Party, who ruled Madras since the region's first elections in 1920, found themselves wiped out in the face of the rise of the Andhra Mahabasa. No, that's Andhra Mahasabha, now the largest party in the Legislative Council. Near the end of the previous decade, the Mahasabha itself could hardly even be considered a political party, having primarily been formed with the pressure as a pressure group for the Telugu language under the leadership of Madhupati Hanumantha Rao. They, however, began attempts to reform into a proper party in order to contest the 1929 and 1933 elections. While they initially saw significant success in northern Telugu speaking parts of Madras, they ended up seeing little success elsewhere, especially amongst the primarily Tamil South. Since 1933, the mood of Madras has rather dramatically shifted, owing in large part to the perceived stagnation of Madras under the Justice Party's rule and their poor localized response to the Black Monday crisis. But more importantly, Mahasabha's much more vocal opposition against supplanting Tamil's usage with any kind of northern language generally now believe that Suravarnam Pratapa Reddy, the party's head in Madras, will be appointed first minister by provincial president, while Parnasvan Subarayan will once again be appointed as the state's neutral observer in the Council of Princes. Madras enters a new era, hopefully for the better. Pius the 12th. I think we can accelerate a little more. 9th International Congress. We're going to try to keep these guys neutral. Alright. This, I think, has shortened the... Yeah, it's going to be removed in December now. Okay. Very fancy. Boy, that seems strong, doesn't it? Yeah. Hope wheat trials. Better wheat. Less starvation. Chief of Army? Let's do, we're doing planning. Division experience gain. Well, it might be good, but... Okay. Order restored in... Argentina? Alright. Schleicher is Reich Chancellor. Alright. We are going to call it here. I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.